الله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. The subject of fiqh, and we have reached time for Maghrib and Isha prayers, issue 743. You see, this is important, and there are a lot of confusion about time of Maghrib and Isha prayers. According to ulama, our ulama, they said, some of them said, only sunset is sufficient to start the prayer of Maghrib and after Maghrib Isha. Some of the ulama said is obligatory precaution, or you must, or is recommended precaution, whatever they have views, but it's better to wait for about 15 minutes when the eastern redness will disappear, not the west. The sunset is at the west. In the east side still there is redness, and that redness of the sky is not dark yet. Gradually the sky become dark, and that redness will move above us in the sky and then move to the west. So when that disappears, the time for Maghrib prayer will start. While some, unfortunately, they try to abuse the followers of Ahlul Bayt, that they will not pray unless stars will appear in the sky. That is not true, and nothing to do with the stars. It has to do with the confirmation that the night has started, because as long as sunrise is there, we cannot pray Maghrib and Isha. When the night starts, then we can pray. We are allowed. That is the time for Maghrib, and after Maghrib is Isha prayer. Now, when starting of the night is there, here is the difference. Is it sunset, or it is disappearance of the eastern redness? Which one? So some of the ulama said sunset alone will not mean the night will start, because still the sky is shiny and the red light is there. And actually, according to the people who discuss the astrology, they said it is what the followers of Ahlul Bayt say. The real night will start when the eastern redness will disappear completely. I mean, it will move from east to above us till the west and then disappear. In certain countries, they have to wait in about 10 minutes for that to disappear. In other countries, 15, 20, maximum maybe 22 minutes. Those who are in the north, it may take a longer time. Those who are souther, they may have less time. But however, it is something around 15 to 20 minutes, or let us say 10 to 20 minutes, depends on which country you live. That is still witness. And as I said, not all our ulama, they say it is a must. Some said sunset alone is sufficient. I mean, the reason why they have fatwa, because there are ahadith. They ask the Imam, when is the time for Maghrib? He say, when sunset is there. Another one asked him, he said, when the eastern redness is not there. So how to combine these two hadiths? Some of them, they believe that the second one is an explanation for the first one, because if you have a buildings in the city, you cannot see sunset usually in the cities, unless if you are in a village in the desert, then you can see the horizon and you can see sunset. Otherwise, in cities, you have no chance to see the sunset. There are too many buildings in front of you and houses are in front of you, you cannot see it. So how to know sunset is there or not? Nowadays, in the modern life, maybe you can depend on your watch. You know the timing, but sometimes your watch is not also proper and exact. Sometimes it is late or exceed in 5 minutes and so on. So again, it's not a good way to trust always, So you want to trust the sky to see. You see, when that redness is not there, definitely sunset is there and the time of Maghrib started. So some take this appearance of the eastern redness as a sign for sunset. That is why I say if you know sunset happened, you can break your fast if you are fasting or start your Maghrib prayer right away. Some said no, what is mentioned in a hadith about the disappearance of the redness in the eastern side or in above us in the sky by itself is meant. It is not a sign for sunset. By itself is needed, and that is why they say as obligatory precaution you have to wait to start Maghrib till that moment happens. About 15-20 minutes after sunset. We read what is there in issues of Ayatullah Al-Sistani. In issue 743 said the obligatory precaution, so it is not fatwa, is that as long as the redness in the eastern sky appearing after sunset has not passed overhead, so not sufficient in the east to pass, but should pass overhead and cross to the west, has not passed overhead, Maghrib prayer should not be performed. So Maghrib will start after that. Now, issue 744. In normal circumstances, the prescribed time for Maghrib and Isha prayers is till midnight. But if forgetfulness, oversleeping, or being in menstruation, and similar unusual situations prevent one from performing the prayer till midnight, then for them the time will continue till Fajr sets in. In all the cases, Maghrib must be prayed before Isha, and if one contradicts their sequence purposely or knowingly, the prayer will be void. However, if the time left over is just enough for Isha prayers to be offered within time, then Isha will precede Maghrib prayers. You see, the time for Maghrib to start, we know it. Now, when is the end of the time of Maghrib? To say the Maghrib and Isha, both their time is for midnight. Now, what is midnight? Again, here there are two views about midnight. Some said midnight is the time between sunset and sunrise. So that is midnight. But some of the ulama said no, midnight is the mid of the time between sunset and dawn time. So here naturally is about 45 minutes less or earlier midnight than till sunrise, because between dawn and sunrise usually 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 45 minutes and so on, So half of it will be, let us say, roughly 45 minutes or more. So again, midnight, there is a difference. According to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, midnight is between sunset and dawn time. So between sunset and dawn, that is midnight. And he said the time for Maghrib and Isha is till midnight. But if somebody, he forgot to pray, or he could not pray because of certain unusual circumstances, and so on, or ladies, they were at a special time, they could not pray, and then later on they become clean, they wanted to pray. So he said the time will continue till dawn time. According to some other ulama, Maghrib will be qada. Only Isha will continue till dawn. But here, according to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, Maghrib and Isha both will continue till dawn time. However, Maghrib has to be offered before Isha. So let us say if you forgot, let us say if midnight is around 12 o'clock, and somebody forgot, and at 1 o'clock after midnight, he remembered, then he pray Maghrib and Isha as wajib. But according to other ulama, Maghrib will be qada. Only Isha will be wajib. See, there is a different views on this issue between ulama. But again, he mentioned if at last moments, let us say 5 minutes before downtime, he remembered that he should offer his prayer. Now, that last time, as we said in the previous lecture, is specific for Isha. He has to pray only Isha, and then the Maghrib will be qada later on, because time of Fajr will start, downtime will start. So this is about this issue. Issue 745. If a person offers Isha prayer before Maghrib prayers by mistake and takes notice of this after completing the prayers, his prayers will be valid, and then he should offer Maghrib prayers after that. You see, it is obligatory to pray Maghrib before Isha. That is intentionally. But sometimes one may do mistake. He thought he prayed Maghrib, he start with Isha prayer. And when he finished Isha prayer, then he remembered that Maghrib prayer was not prayed. So he says his Isha prayer is all right. He has to perform Maghrib prayer, become after Isha, because he forgot, not intentionally. Otherwise, if we do it intentionally, his prayer is void, not right. Issue 746. If a person begins Isha prayers by mistake before Maghrib prayers and realize during the prayers that he has made an error, and if he has not yet gone into ruku' of the fourth rak'at, he should turn his niyyah to Maghrib prayers and complete the prayers. Thereafter he will offer Isha prayers. However, if he has entered ruku' of the fourth rak'at, he can continue to complete the Isha prayers and thereafter pray Maghrib. Now, in the previous issue, he said if he forgot and he started Isha, he completed Isha prayer, and then he realized he did not pray Maghrib. In this issue, he said no, it is at the middle of the prayer. It is at the second rak'at, third rak'at, fourth rak'at before going to ruku'. Start standing, saying Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, has not gone for ruku', and then he realized that he did not offer Maghrib prayer. How he is offering Isha prayer? He said in that case he can sit, he should not go for ruku', he sit and complete his prayer. He did tashahud, he do salam, and change his intention from Maghrib to Isha. If it is in the first rak'at, second rak'at, or third rak'at, well, again, what he need only to change his intention. While praying, when he realized, he said, well, I changed my intention from Isha to Maghrib. He completed as Maghrib, and then he pray Isha afterwards. But here he said, after ruku' of fourth rak'at, he started the ruku' of fourth rak'at, he realized he should complete his prayer as Isha and then pray Maghrib. That is because he forgot. Issue 747. In normal circumstances, the end of the time for Isha prayers is midnight, and the night will be calculated from dawn, subh sadiq. As we said, some said night will be calculated from sunset and sunrise, and some from between sunset and downtime. According to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, it is up to downtime. Issue 748. If a person in normal circumstances does not offer Maghrib or Isha prayers till after midnight, he should, as an obligatory precaution, offer the prayers in question before the dawn prayers, without making a niyat of ada that is in time, or qada after the lapse of the time. You see, he said if he has certain special circumstances or forgot, or lady was unclean and then later on she cleaned, so in those circumstances the time will continue till downtime. But if intentionally he is lazy and intentionally he delay his prayer, and midnight started and he has not offered Maghrib or Isha prayer, so here what will be his intention? He said here he should not have the intention of Ada, means praying on time, or Qada, which means praying after. You say, whatever is my duty prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I will pray it. I pray Maghrib, whatever is my duty prescribed by Allah. I don't know my duty is to be Ada or Qada. So whatever it is, God knows. So I pray as whatever is my duty. Because here it's not known really. Is it right to say it is Ada on time because it is not on time? To say Qada, well, there are possibility that the time will continue till downtime. So in this case, he should have that niyat. And we should not do niyat of Ada or Qada, whatever is my duty. Now we come to regarding time for Fajr prayers, issue 749. Just before dawn, a column of whiteness rises upward from the east. It is called the first dawn. When this whiteness spreads, it is called the second dawn. When this whiteness spreads, it is called the second dawn, and the prime time for Subh prayers. The time for Subh prayers is still sunrise. Now there are two dawn time, One, they call it first and second, as he used the term here. Sometimes they use it the false and true. Al-Fajr al-Kadhib or Al-Fajr al-Sadiq. What is the false dawn? You see, when the night is there, it is dark. But at the place where expected sunrise to be there, when you look to the east, at one time you see light started, and that light go horizontal upward to the sky. So that light which is going horizontal to the sky is not the right dawn, not the true one, it's the false dawn. It will take about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and that will disappear completely. Then again, light will be seen, that there is a difference. It was completely dark, and then there's little light will start, but that light will spread right and left of the sunrise place. It will spread, and then it will move to the sky, spread horizontally and perpendicularly. That is the true dawn. Also Al-Fajr al-Sadiq. The time for morning prayer is when the second dawn time, or the true dawn start, not the first one, but the second one. And end of the time is till sunrise. So if sunrise happens, then the prayer will be qada, will not be on time. Now we come to rules regarding times of prayer, issue 750. A person can start offering prayers only when he becomes certain that the time has set in, or when two just persons inform that the time has set in. In fact, one can rely upon the adhan or on advice of a person who knows the timing and is reliable. Now here is an important issue. Many people, without making sure that the time of Dhuhr or the time of Maghrib or time of morning prayer is set in, they rush and they pray. Well, that is not the right way. He has to be certain himself that the time is set in. He should make sure that his watch is right. The people who make the prayer timetable, they are really trustworthy, and you can depend on them, because many a print prayer timetable, but there are mistakes in it. So one has to know that they are really trustworthy, or the time, he knows the time, he see if it is downtime, if he can see it. Well, in big cities, because there is light, it's not possible to see beginning of downtime. But if somebody is in desert or in a village or in between cities, and when the horizon is in front of him, he can see it, but in common cities, naturally, it's not possible to see the downtime. But then one has to rely on, if there are two just people who say are a witness that the downtime, let us say, started, or Dhuhr time started, or Maghrib time started. Well, usually there are no two just witnesses, let us say, practically saying. So I said, if we are confident that the person who recite adhan, he himself is a trustworthy. We are in a mosque or in an Islamic center and somebody recite the adhan, and we know him, he is a trustworthy. He will not start adhan unless he make sure in his own way that the time started. He must have checked the timetables for the prayer. He must have read more details about it, and he is sure the time start. Then we can trust that person, even if they are not two just people, but somebody trustworthy, and we get assurance, atminan. Let us say 95%, 96, 97%, I am sure that the person who recited adhan is trustworthy, and adhan, the time must have set, So we have to be, let us say, certain, 100%, or at least sure the time of prayer is set. Now, issue 751, if a person cannot be certain about the prime time for prayer due to a personal handicap like blindness or being in the prison cell, he should delay the prayer till such time when he feels sure that the time has set in. And as an obligatory precaution, he should act the same way when there are general hindrance like dust or clouds. If there is a dust or there is a cloud, you cannot see, make sure that sunset is there or not. Maybe it is dark half an hour before sunset, or you cannot know about sunrise, for example. So one should not rush for the prayer, should wait till he is certain the time is set. Because to pray before time is not right, has no value. So one has to make sure that the time is set. So if somebody is in jail, for example, and then if the people who tells him that the time is set are reliable, fine. But if they are not reliable, he can wait another, let us say, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever time, till he is sure the time is set. Some people unfortunately rush, and I have seen sometimes in some countries adhan is set in Ramadan month because they want the people to break the fast in rush. Still half the sun is there, not complete sunset, and then they recite adhan. And people rush after adhan to break their fast without waiting few minutes to make sure that the person has not done a mistake. And maybe because of complaints from people about that, the government in that country, I don't want to mention it, it's a Muslim, one of the Muslim countries, they started 2-3 minutes after sunset to make the adhan for Maghrib, in order to make sure 100% sunset is right. So what I mean, not always we rush blindly and say, because adhan is set, it is all right. No, sometimes they do mistakes. Issue 752, if a person is satisfied on the basis of any one of the above methods, that the time for prayers has set in and he begins offering prayers, but then realizes during the prayers that the time has not yet set in, his prayers is void. So if at time of the prayer, he start the prayer and later on he realizes but it was before the time. Still, Dhuhr prayer is not there, and he started before, because winter and summer, the timing are different. So he looked to his watch and he thought it is still summer while it is in winter, and maybe in midday, about 10-15 minutes, there is a difference. So it's earlier. So if he realize he did a mistake, his prayer is void, and he should start the prayer again on time. Now, if after the prayer he realizes that all his prayer, not at time of the prayer, again his prayer is void. So it's after the prayer, within the prayer, if he realizes it is outside the time completely, then his prayer is void. We say, however, if one learns as he prays that the time has just entered, or if he learns after the prayer that the time entered while he was in the process of praying, his prayer will be valid. You see, at the beginning he was satisfied, not that blindly he started the prayer. He trusted the person who recited the adhan, or trusted his watch, and trusted the people on the timetable because he knows them. But then later on realized his watch was wrong, or the one who recited adhan was not. So he did research at the beginning and he was satisfied, but then ultimately there was some mistake. Sometimes mistakes happens. So he said, if his prayer was completely out of the time, then is void. He has to repeat praying. But if half of the prayer was out and another half, half or part, let us say, of it, and he realized that part of it was on time, well, his prayer is all right. No need to repeat. Issue 753, if a person is heedless of the fact that he should pray after ensuring that the time has set in, and if he realized after the prayers that he had offered the entire prayers in time, his prayers is in order. Now he was not really aware of it, but he thought it is the time of the prayer and he prayed. And then after prayer, when he started thinking, was my prayer on time or not? They said, yes, it was on time. It was all right. So though at the beginning he did not make sure, but his prayer came on time and he was not aware of it. So his prayer is all right. And if he realizes that he had offered his prayers before time, or does not realize whether he had offered the prayers within time or not, his prayers will be void. Here, because he did not make sure that the time is there, and then later on by chance a mistake happened. He was heedless of it, not aware of it, not thinking about it, and he just started his prayer. So if it comes by chance on time, fine. If it is outside the time, then his prayer is void. In fact, if he realizes after offering prayers that the time for prayers had set in while he was praying, he should offer that prayer again. So even if at middle of the prayer time started, because he did not care to make sure at the beginning, he should pray again. Issue 754. If a person was certain that the time for prayers had set in and began offering prayers, but while praying he doubted. At the beginning it was with certainty, but at time of the prayer doubt came in his mind whether or not the time for it had actually set in. His prayers would be void, because he's still at time of the prayer and he is not sure if the time is there or not, so his prayer is void. However, if he is certain while offering prayers that the time for it has set in, but doubts whether what he has already performed in the prayers had been in time or not, his prayer is valid. the difference here, he was certain the time is there, he started the prayer. At the middle of the prayer, now he has doubt whether the time is set in or not. He is not sure that the time is there. So he says the prayer is void. But if at the middle of the prayer, now he is sure that the time is there, but he does not know it was from beginning or not, then his prayer is all right. So that is the difference. At the beginning, he was certain, but when he prayed, he was sure that it was out of time, naturally, there's no value. But then, in the second possibility, he said, no, at the middle, he knows that the time is there, but he's not sure time was at the beginning or at the middle. He said it is, his prayer is all right, and that to be counted. So there's very delicate possibilities, and one has to read them and remember them properly. Issue 755. If the time left for prayer is so little that if we perform some mustahab acts of the prayer, an obligatory part of the prayers will fall beyond the prescribed time, one should not perform those mustahab acts. For example, if on account of reciting qunut, a part of the prayers will lapse beyond time, one should do without qunut. You see, sometimes one is awake only maybe 5 minutes before sunrise. He may need 3 minutes to perform wudu. Now it's only hardly 2 minutes are there to perform the prayer. Now if you want to do mustahab qunut there, or when you go to ruku', Subhana Rabbi al-Azim wa bihamdi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Well, the rest are mustahab, only Subhana Rabbi al-Azim wa bihamdi is wajib. So here, part of the prayer will be out of time. He said he should not do mustahab here. He should do only whatever wajib. You can say Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah 3 times, or Subhana Rabbi al-Azim wa bihamdi, and that's all. Of course, with stability, with all conditions of the prayer, but no need to do mustahab and make it long, to finish as quick as possible. Issue 756. If the time at the disposal of a person is sufficient for performing 1 rak'at only, he should offer the prayers with the niyat of ada, that is to say, offering at the same time. However, one should not delay offering prayers intentionally. Intentionally one should not delay. I mean, I am lazy and I pray Dhuhr and Asr at the end of the time, and then there is no sufficient time or morning to be late. No. But if by chance the time was tight and only 1 rak'at is on time, the rest are out of the time, said his prayer is all right. If 1 rak'at is on time and the rest of the prayer is out of the time, his prayer is all right. Issue 757. If a person who is not a traveler has at his disposal time for offering 5 rak'ahs till sunset, he should offer both Dhuhr and Asr prayers. And if he has less time than that, he should offer only Asr prayers. We said the last time of the midday prayers is specifically for Asr. So now if he said 5 rak'ahs, let us say 5 minutes, he has time. So if you pray Dhuhr prayer, 4 rak'at, 4 minutes will finish. And for Asr prayer, 1 rak'at will be on time and 3 rak'ats will be out of the time. He said, as he said, mentioned before, if 1 rak'at is on time, the rest will be accepted. So you should pray first Dhuhr and then Asr prayers. Even if Asr, only 1 rak'at will be there on time. Issue 758. If a person who is a traveler has sufficient time at his disposal till sunset for offering 3 rak'at, he should offer Dhuhr and Asr prayers. And if he has lesser time than that, he should offer only Asr prayers. You know, for a traveler, because Dhuhr is 2 rak'at and Asr 2 rak'at, so if he has time for only 3 rak'at, not fine. So 2 Dhuhr will finish and 1 Asr, it is okay. So that is similar to the previous one, but that is for a traveler. Issue 759. It is mustahab that a person should offer prayers at the prime time prescribed for it, and great emphasis has been laid on it. Alternatively, the nearer the prayer are to its prime time, the better, except where there is a good reason for delay, like waiting to join the prayers in congregation, Salatul Jama'ah. Recommended time, and greatly recommended that at the beginning of the time, or called it the prime of the time, to pray, you know. And if delayed, then as nearer as possible, not delay till end. He said, because 1 hour passed, then I will pray it at the end of the time. No, as near as possible to the prime of the time. But if there is good reason, Imam of the Jama'at in congregation is late 10 minutes, so you are waiting 10 minutes to delay it till Imam will come, because the thawab of Jama'at is much more than thawab of praying individually. So here to delay it is better, and that is okay. Sufficient till here. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.